This is the Brewers POSTCAST, your instant game reaction for the Milwaukee Brewers. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
Goodbye, LA. Hello, Chicago. Hello, best record in Major League Baseball. And hello, 10-game win streak as the Milwaukee Brewers sweep the Los Angeles Dodgers today over in Dodgerville there by a final score of 6-5. It wasn't easy, may not have been pretty, but who cares nonetheless? The Brewers get it done. Hello, everyone, and welcome into the Locked On Brewers postcast. My name is Brandon Snide. You can follow me over on Twitter at Brandon_Snide. And remember, you can follow the Locked On Brewers podcast wherever you get audio podcasts, Apple, Google, Spotify, all those terrific apps, as well as over on YouTube. Just go to that search bar, type in Locked On Brewers, hit that subscribe button, hit that thumbs up, hit that subscribe, and get notified when we go live breaking down the 10th win in a row as the Brewers do beat the Dodgers today by a final score of 6-5. Your thoughts, your reactions, your celebrations, always welcomed on the program. I appreciate each and every one of you for always making Locked On Brewers part of your day each and every day. And boy, how good has it been after the last couple of weeks here as the Brewers win their 10th in a row. The Sunday lineup will get it done. We'll talk about that. At the end of the show, I want to talk about the big controversy, quote unquote, amongst Brewers fans, and it got some traction on social media from the show last night. If you are Brewers general manager Matt Arnold, why would you make a trade right now? We'll get into that. We'll discuss the pros and the cons, and as we mentioned before, the 10th win in a row. 2 wins away from the Brewers fans getting free burgers at George Webb's. Let's get into your scoring summary today, brought to you by our wonderful partners over at FanDuel and Supply House. We begin in the third inning. The Dodgers putting up a 3 spot on the Brewers, including a 2-run home run from Shohei Ohtani. 378 feet there to left field. But this is the thing with this Brewers team. You go down, Jose Quintana gives up a 3 spot. He got the start today for the Brewers. He also gets the win now, 7-3. We'll talk a little bit about his start as the show goes on. The Brewers give up a 3 spot in that third inning, but like we saw last night, every time the Dodgers scored, the Brewers responded. And that's exactly what happened in the fourth inning. Now, was there some luck involved? Certainly. But any team that's won a World Series, any team in any sport that's won a championship, and I'm not comparing today's game to a winning a championship, but there's always luck involved. And the Brewers are on the benefiting side of the luck in the fourth inning. They also match a 3 spot, a couple of errors by the Los Angeles Dodgers. Monasterio did have a single, though that would score Perkins. Monasterio would later score on an error. Ortiz hitting a fairly deep shot there to center. Andy Paez just closed his glove a half a second too early, and that would help tie the game at 3 apiece. And then we go to the 5th inning, and Ruiz for LA would hit a home run. That would give the Dodgers the 4-3 lead. But then again, this is where this team time in and time out again over the course, really go back to the middle of May. When their backs are against the wall, they just respond. And that's exactly what happened today in a 6-5 win.
Time to reveal where the game was won or lost. It's the turning point.
6th inning today is the turning point in a 6-5 win. Eric Haas getting an RBI single. That would score Joey Ortiz. That would make it 4-4. And with the bases loaded, Issac Collins, who was hitting in the cleanup spot today, and there was a lot of Brewers fans, not really happy with the lineup, and I can completely understand why. They loaded up the right-handed hitters against Clayton Kershaw, who did get the start for LA after the Brewers chased him after just 4 1/3. So the Brewers offense doing a terrific job against Clayton Kershaw. 5 hits, 2 earned runs, but they did get his pitch count up to over 80 in just that 4 1/3 innings. But your turning point in the game is the 6th inning. As we mentioned, Eric Haas would single. That would score Joey Ortiz. That would make it 4-4. And without further ado, it's the turning point of this game, and it's the player of the game. And it all belongs to that 6th inning and Issac Collins.
This is the Locked On Player of the Game.
Issac Collins, as I mentioned, batting in the cleanup role for the Brewers. The full count, bases loaded, single to center field. That would score 2 runs. That would give the Brewers, at the time, a 6-4 advantage. Later on, we would see appearances out of the bullpen from Grant Anderson, who was fantastic. We would see an appearance from DL Hall. He would pitch 2/3 of an inning. He would allow one walk, but that would be it. Nick Mears, fantastic. They called him on the television broadcast the fireman, because he seemingly all year long has just put out fires that the Brewers kind of had put themselves into, and certainly did that in that eighth inning as well. And he gets out of that jam. And then Abner Uribe gets the ninth inning. He did allow the one earned run, as the Brewers do win 6-5 after an infield single where Joey Ortiz almost made the play of the game. I know the turning point was Issac Collins there in the sixth inning for the two run RBI single that proved to be the difference in this ball game. But let's take a minute here, and the turning point, the sixth inning, obviously the Brewers put up the difference in the ball game. They put up a couple of runs in that sixth inning. The player of the game, Issac Collins, for delivering the hit when the bases were loaded, when runners were in scoring position, with 2 outs, with 2 strikes. But this team today, does not win this game without the defense from Joey Ortiz, most notably in the ninth inning, right? You get the diving stop, and then he gets the force out at second base and almost ends the ball game with a play. He's moving to second base. The ball is off the end of the bat. It goes to his right. So he's moving to his left, goes back to his right, retrieves the ball, makes a throw without even looking at Andrew Vaughn at first base, and it just squeezes out of Vaughn's glove. If Vaughn catches it, the game was over in that moment. It was definitely a anxious win for the Brewers. And Abner Uribe, as you guys know, if you're listeners, you're everydayers on the Locked On Brewers postcast. Number one, thank you. But number two, you know how much I love Abner Uribe. And it was definitely not an easy one for Abner. Once he got the first out, I felt a little bit better. Then he allowed, a long single to Tommy Edman, and then, walk in, and now you get the bases loaded. The Joey Ortiz, ball squeezes out of Andrew Vaughn's glove. The Dodgers would score a run off of that. That would make it 6-5. And then Mookie Betts would come up to the plate. And that was a rocket hit off of the bat of Mookie. Thankfully, it was right to Blake Perkins out there in center field, and the Brewers would hold on for the 6-5 win, the second save for Abner Uribe on the year. But this series, not only do you sweep the Dodgers in LA, you sweep the season series. You did it right before the All-Star break at American Family Field. You have successfully sent the loudest statement after the All-Star break in all of Major League Baseball. And I don't think it's remotely close, right? You're now 48-9 when you score 4 or more runs, the Brewers, that is. Once again, we have talked about, a lot of people have talked about, this team needs to go out and acquire this bat. This team needs to go out and acquire that bat. When you score 4 or more runs, you're almost unbeatable. You're now 54-2 when you lead after 8 innings. Most teams would probably have a decent record as well. But when you have guys like the Brewers do in the back end of the bullpen, it certainly makes it a lot easier to secure those wins. Jackson Chourio extends his hit streak to 14 games. And oh, by the way, a guy that a lot of us, including myself, were hard on earlier in the year, really before probably middle of May, certainly earlier in the part of the season, Joey Ortiz quietly has a 6-game hit streak. Now, it's not going to knock anybody's socks off. I fully understand that. But Joey Ortiz was the player of the game last night for getting the scoring started and ending the scoring for the Brewers in the win over the Dodgers last night, which also felt very playoff pressure-esque, as did today, this afternoon in LA. And it's a Dodger team. Look, the expectations are there, right? They're the defending champions for a reason. The payroll is clearly there. The players, the talent is clearly there. And this Brewers team, the little America's team, built, not bought, as a listener had described on one of the YouTube comments, which was fantastic. And I told that person I was going to end up stealing that this Milwaukee Brewers team has proven that they can compete with anybody. That includes, clearly, the Los Angeles Dodgers with the 6-game season sweep over LA. It includes the Philadelphia Phillies, who you just swept in May, including in that 8-game win streak. It includes the Chicago Cubs, which you'll get more opportunities against the Chicago Cubs team. When the Cubs came to American Family Field in early parts of May, this team was still everybody was kind of figuring out who is who's injured, who's not injured. At that time, Quinn Priester wasn't even starting games. He was coming in and, you having a starter for him at the time. It was Tyler Alexander, a fan favorite of the Locked On Brewers listeners. this team has completely changed since the last time they really faced the Cubs. And I can guarantee you that there's no team within all of Major League Baseball, because now the Brewers are atop of Major League Baseball record-wise, 59-40 now after today's 6-5 win. There's no team in Major League Baseball, but most certainly there's not a team in the National League that this Brewers team cannot and will not beat. They're absolutely they're going to be players come October, and everybody, for the most part, stay healthy, keep going, do your thing. But the depth on this team is real. The talent on this team is there. I do not think, and we'll discuss it in a little bit later on in the program, I don't think right now this Brewers team needs to go out and make a trade just to say you make a trade. And I saw a couple comments say, well, if you want to win a World Series, you got to go out and make a trade. I don't think that's true. I don't think this Brewers team has to go out and make a trade just because you want to go out and make a trade. And we'll discuss a little bit further. Your thoughts, your reactions, always welcomed on the program. We'll get to all of it and the things that you'll be talking about later today after the Brewers beat the Dodgers today to complete this season sweep over LA. This one by a final score of 6-5. Jose Quintana getting his 7th win of the season, now 7-3. 6 innings pitched, 4 earned runs, and a really solid performance from Jose Quintana. Outside of the 3rd inning was the only really, bad spot on the game for Jose Quintana. He would later give up a run in the 5th, but that 3rd inning was about it. The only blemish on that start for Jose Quintana, going 6 strong innings, and more importantly, able to bounce back for the Brewers when they were able to score 3 in the 4th. He responds by allowing the 1 run in the 5th inning, but for the most part was able to kind of, right the ship during this game. And again, this is a very, very talented Los Angeles Dodgers offense. The Brewers offense, going into the right direction, certainly, but this LA offense is still one of the best, if not the best in baseball, as the Brewers do get the win, the season series sweep, their 10th win in a row, and things could not be better if you are a Brewer fan. Your thoughts, your reactions coming up right after this. Today's Locked On Brewers postcast is brought to you by FanDuel. Summer sports in full swing, whether you're all about baseball under the lights, golf on the green, or that high-stakes soccer action. FanDuel is the best way to make every game even more exciting. You're already following the action. Why not make it a little more thrilling? With FanDuel, you can get in on the game while your friends are getting sunburned over there at Bradford Beach. I told you guys last night, if you're a part of FanDuel, if you bet that first $5 and you're new to FanDuel and you sign up and you bet first $5, and I said last night, I would bet the Brewers win in Sunday. And if you listen to me, you could have won $150 in bonus bets. Hopefully you did listen to me. But if not, you can do it today. If you're new customers can bet just that $5. Sign up at FanDuel.com. Get $150 in bonus bets if your first bet wins. I would continue to bet for the Milwaukee Brewers to win because I don't think they can lose. And a lineup that was rolled out today, and they get the job done in LA over the mighty Dodgers. Open the FanDuel app today or visit FanDuel.com to get started. Once again, that's FanDuel.com. Today's show is also brought to you by our wonderful partners over at Supply House. Get the supplies you need from the site made for the skilled trade. Supply House, whether you're in plumbing, HVAC, or electrical work, Supply House is the reliable way to get products ordered online. Their easy-to-use website is packed with helpful resources and the latest product info to help you get the job done right. Plus, with complete inventory of over 200,000 parts from 400 or more top brands, you'll find exactly what you need delivered fast from coast to coast. Join the Trademaster program today at supplyhouse.com/TM and start ordering your plumbing, your HVAC, and all your electrical supplies with just a few clicks. Plus, if you use promo code SH5, you get 5% off of your first order. SH5, receive 5% off of your first order. Once again, that is supplyhouse.com. A 6-5 Milwaukee Brewers win over the Dodgers secures the season sweep over LA, continues on their win streak, now 10 in a row, 19 games over 500 as we begin with our everydayer. Jay Andrews saying move over Cubs. That's absolutely right, because the Cubs do lose today. The Brewers joining the Cubs atop the NL Central, and boy, oh boy, it's hard not to look at that schedule down the road. A week from now, will be getting ready for the Brewers and Cubs at American Family Field. That is grab your popcorn type series. That is going to be, I just cannot wait for that series. I cannot wait to see this Brewers team against another top team in the National League, because they have proven me wrong over the 6 games against LA. They have proven so many people wrong, including people outside of this fan base wrong. They have been just absolutely fantastic. Greens Farm over on Twitter, 10 in a row. Dodgers sweep that Ortiz guy and tied for the best record in the league. Detroit game results are pending. Go Brew Crew. Yeah, outside Detroit, the Brewers do have the best record in the National League. And Joey Ortiz, man, I'm telling you, I can't sing his praise enough. And I understand the frustration at the plate. There was a moment in the game where they showed the batting stance has changed for Joey Ortiz in the second half of the season. So curious, 1 for 4 today. We'll see, a bigger sample size going forward with Joey Ortiz, but the defense for Joey O at shortstop, the Brewers probably don't escape that 9th inning with a victory without Joey Ortiz at shortstop. They just don't. There's no way. And I understand the need for offense, and that's what drives, people to want to, make changes. But defensively, I don't know, outside of Bryce Terrain, of course, in the infield, maybe the outfield for that matter, if there's a better defender overall than Joey Ortiz, minus the Platinum Glove winner in Bryce Terrain. Not a whale over on YouTube. What are those unlovable losers on the north side thinking right now? They are starting to panic. And I'm friends, unfortunately, with a lot of Chicago sports fans. And they just, I see them at work. I talk to them in through text messaging and on social media. And the one thing that's been constant is they always ask me, how do you guys do it? Like, how do you continue to do it? It begins with Matt Arnold. It also begins with manager Pat Murphy. Pat Murphy is the perfect manager. And I was wrong 2 years ago around Pat Murphy. I wrote a couple articles on WTMJ.com. I was wrong about Pat Murphy. I was upset about losing Craig Counsell. I was upset about losing Counsell, especially to the Cubs. I think we all kind of had the feeling that we might lose him, but I was dead wrong about manager Pat Murphy. And I'm completely have no shame to own up to that. I was wrong about manager Pat Murphy taking over once Counsell left. And I'm glad I was wrong. I'm absolutely glad I was wrong, because we're talking about the 10th win in a row, and you're now 19 games over 500 at 59-40, and you're tied as of right now for the best record in Major League Baseball. And you're atop the National League Central along with the Chicago Cubs. And going back just 2 months ago, you, me, multiple people were having the discussion of who are the Brewers going to sell off, because it just didn't look like it was going to be their year. And they climbed their way out of that hole, and they slowly did it. And now they are off and running. It is absolutely fantastic. And a lot of it goes to Matt Arnold for the team that he built, the depth that he built. And the other half of it goes to manager Pat Murphy, who has the best pulse on this clubhouse, who has made seemingly all the right moves, especially over the last 2 months or so. You go all the way back to like May 18th, May 17th, right around there. They're the best team in baseball. Our Milwaukee Brewers, over the last 2 months in all of Major League Baseball, are the best team. And that includes the powerhouses of the Mets and the powerhouses of the LAs and the powerhouses of Chicago. It's not them. It's the Brewers. And those two guys, for me, are the reason this Brewers team are where they are. Kevin over on YouTube. Wow, cardiac crew for sure. Glad Uribe was able to get out of it. This team is playing spectacular defense. They did just enough to get it win. Look out, Cubs and the entire league. The entire league now, and that's a great comment, Kevin, and thank you as always for tuning in and making Locked On Brewers part of your day. The league is on notice. Like, I guarantee you right now, the league is on notice. Multiple people from multiple different fans, people that cover this team, want nothing to do with this Brewers team. And it's exactly what manager Pat Murphy wants. It's how he plays. It's how he manages. It's how he wants his teams to go out there. They're annoying. If you're looking at this Brewers team, you're like, God, that team is annoying. There's no easy outs. 1 through 9, they're scrappy. They're hard to get out. They get on base. You know they're going to run. They're going to play really good defense. It's going to frustrate the hell out of you as a manager. Look at Dave Roberts this weekend. I think the camera panned to Dave Roberts 6 times today. He was smiling once at the beginning of the game. The Dodgers took a 3-0 lead. After that, Dave Roberts was PO'd. He was very upset. That speaks to what this Brewers team wants to achieve under manager Pat Murphy, and it's happening. We're seeing it. They're pesky. They're annoying. Earlier in the year, Pat Murphy went on the airwaves and said, I want the other team to feel us. I want them to know we are going to be hard to get out. We're going to be annoying. Does that not sum up what we're seeing, not only over this 10-game win streak, but the last 2 months? I mean, I get goosebumps talking about it. And it is because you look at this team and I get more goosebumps thinking this team can win it all. They absolutely can win it all. There's not a weakness on this team right now. I know a lot of people, want Suarez out of Arizona who hit a couple of home runs today. And I know a lot of people want a high-end bat. That's great. I don't think I'd make any move right now. And I know that's not a popular opinion. I know some people have dragged me on social media and in the comments. I find it really hard right now, as I am a Brewers fan and I cover this team, to mess anything up. Maybe you go out and get a back end arm for the bullpen, maybe a diamond in the rough, like you got for Nick Mears. But those are very hard to find. But I'll tell you what, there's one guy I trust doing it. It's the guy that's running the show right now and general manager, Matt Arnold. Jacob, part of our everydayers. What an incredible win today. Sorry, Dodgers, your $400 million payroll can't beat us this season. That's, again, when you look at Dave Roberts today, you can tell he is glad to see this Brewers team off his schedule for the remaining part of the regular season. There is a solid chance we will see this team once again. And this is the other thing that makes me feel better about this team. And again, it is rare that the Dodgers don't beat, outside of their division, a National League team like they have been unable to do against this Brewers team. Think about the confidence this Brewers team has now going forward, right? The Dodgers just won the world championship, 6-7 months ago? Most of those guys are back. You have arguably the best player, best hitter in baseball in Ohtani, former MVP and Mookie Betts in your 2-hole, and Freddie Freeman, and hopefully Freddie's okay with taking a hit by pitch on the wrist. Like Will Smith coming off your bench today to pinch hit, hitting 400 at Dodger Stadium. Think about the confidence this has now created for a very young Brewers team. They're still a young team. I know they've been together and they've been up here now, but it's still a young team. The confidence going forward is going to be like, this does more volumes. Obviously, you like what it does in the standings, 59 and 40, your 10th in a row. But man, confidence-wise, this has got to be huge for this team. Everydayer Cody, tic-tac-toe, 10 in a row. Ooh, that's a good one. How sweet it is to have a Brewers fan tied for the best record in baseball in 15-6 versus first place teams. Love the crew. Felt like a playoff game. This whole series felt like a playoff game, or like a playoff series, I should say. Last night, certainly, Dodger fans, kind of feeling a little bit of the heat, standing up, trying to get their guys going in the 9th inning in a tight ball game. Friday, you win 2-0. You only allow 3 hits. The Brewers, that is. But all these games in LA were tight. I mean, really, you go to Milwaukee as well. They were, outside of that first game, those were tight wins as well. The Brewers winning in extras in that final game. It's remarkable. It really is remarkable. And it's fun to watch this team. There's probably not a team, and maybe I'm biased and I haven't watched enough of other teams as closely as I have as the Milwaukee Brewers. And I understand they don't hit a lot of home runs and they don't have 2 or 3 guys that, have 30 plus, home runs this year so far, but they still are scoring runs. Over the last 2 months, they've been the best offense in baseball. Is there a more fun team to watch right now than the Milwaukee Brewers? I would sit here and make the case that they're not. There's absolutely not. I don't think it's really close right now. This team wins in multiple different ways, whether their starting pitching shuts down one of the best offenses in baseball, whether the Sunday lineup today that consisted of Issac Collins in the cleanup role. No offense to Issac Collins, 2 for 5 today, got the player of the game, but also included Eric Haas, Andrew Monasterio, Blake Perkins, Caleb Durbin in the 6 spot, 5 spot, I should say. Like, wasn't the top lineup, wasn't a playoff lineup, and they're getting the job done. They're putting up crooked numbers in the 4th inning, putting up a crooked number in the 6th inning, and then the bullpen, outside of that little blemish on Abner Uribe in the 9th, shuts down one of the best offenses in baseball. It's not a more fun team right now to watch than this Milwaukee Brewers. Greg over on YouTube, why not let Mears start the 9th? He only pitched to 1 batter. Uribe walks will kill us at some point. I think that's a perfect spot right now for Nick Mears. He's the fireman. I know that was, given, I think, by Jeff Levering on the television call, kind of going in and getting the Brewers out of those jams. A lot of Brewers fans, certainly earlier part in the year, wanted to see Uribe in this closer role. I'm not against it. But I do think that I think it was the right call for Abner Uribe to come in to the ninth inning. Again, Nick Mears was used a lot prior to the All-Star break, so that might also be one of the reasons why. Steven, part of our everydayers over on YouTube. I love Steven because he always reminds me that Suarez is the guy he wants to make a trade for, but he has a different comment saying Vaughn was surprised about how good Ortiz is and is starting daydreaming. Yeah, I think if you're Andrew Vaughn, he's talking about the play in the ninth inning. I think if you're Andrew Vaughn, you probably didn't expect the ball. Like, it happened, right? You make the play, make the catch. You should. But he's probably looking at Joey Ortiz like, he's probably going to hold on to it. Joey Ortiz didn't even make eye contact with Andrew Vaughn before he threw. Didn't even look that way when he threw the ball. I mean, he was moving to his left, then was shifted back to his right and had to go make a play. It was absolutely incredible by Joey Ortiz. Garbage Pail over on YouTube says, my birthday on Friday, going to the game, looking forward to seeing the home run derby as well. Yeah, the alumni home run derby for the Brewers after the Marlins game this upcoming Friday should be a good one. Hopefully, Garbage Pail, you bring us home a victory as the Brewers now win their 10th in a row. This one, a 6-5 win over the LA Dodgers. Storm Epidemic on YouTube. What is crazy about the Crew is AAA is also stacked with pitching talent. Don't forget Tobias Myers, Logan Henderson, Robert Gasser. The rich are getting richer. Tobias Myers has looked fantastic in Nashville. Logan Henderson, before Jacob Mizorowski came up here, won his first 3 starts as a Brewer. And Robert Gasser is making his way slowly but surely back. So you are absolutely right. Now, that would also bring up the argument about the things people may be talking about tomorrow, because a lot of people are going to be like, well, if you got all that pitching, why not give it up? But again, I just don't know right now if I want to screw anything up. Biz over on YouTube, no weakness on the team, but one consistent power bat goes a long way. I think that power bat, it's very hard to find, and they're very expensive. And I don't know what it's going to cost. I can't sit here and I won't lie to you on what it's going to cost to get a rental like Suarez. It might not cost as much as maybe some of us think it is, but I just don't know if I'm willing to risk it right now. And Jeff Levering, Tim Dillard on the television broadcast said it as well. And I'm not piggybacking off of their comments because I said it last night as well. You don't need to make a trade. And before we get into it, let's actually dive into that and the things you'll be talking about tomorrow after a Brewers 6-5 win.
This is what you'll be talking about.
Don't make a trade just to make a trade. I understand the need for a power bat, especially when you don't have to look far to the Brewers against the Mets last year and Pete Alonso seemingly ending the Brewers season with the home run. I understand it, but it's not like this offense is bad, guys. It's not like we're lacking scoring the ball or scoring runs, like hitting the ball. Like, they're the best offense in baseball all the way from the beginning of June. We're almost into August here. We're a week and a half out of August. I don't know if making a move just to make a move is the right thing to do. Yes, you have a plethora of pitching, but what did we see at the beginning of the year? And unfortunately, the reality is injuries are going to happen. That's just the reality. It's just the reality. Would you rather make a trade for Suarez and let's hypothetically say you give up a pitcher or two or a prospect and a pitcher and you have a big injury in your starting rotation? I wouldn't. This team is built right now to pitch. Your starting pitching is your strength. Your bullpen is part of your strength, and your defense is also part of your strength. We talked about their record when they scored 4 or more runs, which isn't hard to do the way this team plays baseball. 48-9 when they score 4 or more runs. They're essentially unbeatable when they lead after 8. 54-2 now. I don't think you make a move just to make a move. I just don't. Yes, would I like Suarez on this team? 100%. I'd be lying to you. He had 2 home runs a day. He's tied for second, I think, in Major League Baseball with 35 home runs. I would be lying to your face if I said I didn't want Suarez. But do I want Suarez if it equals giving up a guy like Freddie Peralta? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I would, if I'm Matt Arnold, and I'm not, and probably a good thing for most Brewers fans, I'm clicking the phone off before they finish asking that question. And I'm not saying that's what it's going to cost. It could be. I don't know. I don't know what the cost is going to be. But I would not make a move if I'm the Milwaukee Brewers just to make a move. You're 59-40. You're the best team in baseball right now. You have won 10 in a row. And it's not a small sample size, guys. It's not a small sample size. This has been the best team in baseball for 2 months now. So again, if the opportunity presents itself and maybe you're able to make a move for a bat, you go out and make a move for a bat that isn't detrimental to your clubhouse. But I hate to be this guy. Andrew Vaughn is fine for me right now. Andrew Vaughn is 2 for 3 today. Andrew Vaughn has had an RBI in all but one game as a Milwaukee Brewer, guys. I'm okay with where this team is offensively right now. Again, you go all the way back 2 months. They're one of the best offenses in baseball. Aside from having the best record in baseball as well, they're one of the best offenses in baseball. D-Dubs over on YouTube. Said it yesterday, and we'll say it again. One more high-leverage arm in the pen and a utility vet with playoff chops. That's it, and I'd be completely fine with that. Completely agree with you, D-Dubs. Low cost, more than likely. And there's going to be plenty of those opportunities for general manager Matt Arnold to make that move. But I just don't go out and make a move just to make a move. Nick over on YouTube, part of our everydayers. Brandon, how many runners were left on base in the first half of the year? I'm sorry, I love the team, but I don't trust every player to keep it hot through the rest of the season. Ortiz, I don't trust you. And that's the thing that I kind of have. I'm a little bit hesitant because you are right, Nick. You are absolutely right. It was very frustrating offense throughout the course of the first 2 month and a half-ish, 2 months-ish. But that has changed, and things change throughout the course of the season. And how many times has it been, okay, this is Jackson Churrio's game. Okay, this is Christian Yelich's game. Oh, it's Caleb Durbin's game because Caleb Durbin just helped you win the game on Friday. Today, it's Issac Collins helping you win the game with a 2-run RBI single in the 6th inning with 2 outs, with full count, with the bases loaded. We saw Joey Ortiz carry this team in certain games. Every game, it's somebody different. And that's what makes this team scary. That's what makes this team, if you're an opposing team, that's what makes them annoying to have to go up against, because it's going to be, you're going to get every 1 through 9's best shot. Caleb Durbin laid down a bunt for a single today in the 9th inning, just because he saw Tommy Edman playing back and noticed he was playing back. And that's a credit to, of course, Caleb Durbin for noticing that, but it's how manager Pat Murphy has instructed his team to play. Smart baseball, fundamental baseball. I understand where the concern is today. I think the Brewers were 4 for 13 today. Let me double check that. Yeah, 4 for 13 with runners in scoring position. But you scored 6 runs. You got the win. You won yesterday, 8 runs. Like, it's not like a team that is unable to put up runs. Like, I understand the frustration at the early part of the year, but I do understand that has seemingly changed over the last 2 months or so. Couple more comments here before we get things wrapped up. We begin with our everydayer. Jason, for the most part, everyone now is playing their part of their team, and that's the thing that they just didn't have at the beginning of the year. Guys were still, Tyler Alexander was starting games for the Milwaukee Brewers. Okay, it's not the case anymore. Excuse me. Yeah, Tyler Alexander. It's different. Like, Sal Frelick, and you hope he comes back healthy, wasn't in the leadoff spot. He's now in the leadoff spot. We have been talking about the bottom of the order has to do something. They are doing something. Joey Ortiz was the player of the game last night for the runs he drove in. Caleb Durbin, part of that bottom of the order, was the player of the game Friday for the 2 runs he drove in, along with Quinn Priester. Quinn Priester, when the Brewers traded for him, wasn't where he was, where he is now, I should say, at the beginning of the year. This team has evolved. Most good teams do evolve, and that's exactly what we're seeing with our Brewers. Manuel over on YouTube says, see what happens if our pitching slips during the playoffs. Wouldn't it be nice to have a Suarez if you cannot give up a lot? Would be nice, but definitely to be realistic. Yeah, if you don't have to give up a lot for Suarez, but guys, you're going to get in a bidding war. The Yankees want him. The Mariners want him. I'm assuming the Cubs probably are going to be interested. There's going to be a bidding war for Suarez. I can wholeheartedly, with confidence say that there's going to be a bidding war. And right now, Arizona may not have the leverage, with a guy that's a rental, but it's going to be, I don't think it's going to be cheap. I would absolutely love him, but I don't think it's going to be cheap. Kept part of our everydayers over on YouTube. I don't think the front office is going to make a single move during this deadline, except for maybe a bullpen arm. They see this as the future of our team, and I hope it stays this bright. And like a comment before, you're still loaded down to Nashville. So there's great opportunities for this team to develop and continue to move in the right direction. Again, I'm seeing Nestor Cortez's name being thrown out there by a few Brewers fans, Steven included. Do the Brewers trade Cortez? I don't know what leverage they have right now. I don't know how healthy they think he is or how healthy he think he is, right? What leverage do they have? Sure. Yeah, you might be able to find someone that needs him. Jake Bauers finds himself on the IL. What happens? Oh, at the same time, Blake Perkins comes up and has been fantastic out in center field defensively and at the plate. Reached his first 3 at-bats on base. So I'd be hesitant to just want to have Suarez because they have him. I understand the need for him. I understand the want for him and what he can do for a playoff team. But right now, this Brewers team is just, everything is clicking. Everything is working. I would not, if I'm general manager Matt Arnold, it's probably for some of you a good reason that I'm not, go out and make a move just to make a move. And I understand, a bad example is the Hader trade because the writing was on the wall, but that clubhouse was torn apart after that trade. So many players were confused, questioning the decision of the clubhouse, the front office, excuse me. I understand that they were never going to pay Josh Hader. But again, I think, I just said, just because the name's out there and you're on a 10-game winning streak and you're 19 games over 500, you're one of the best records in baseball, you want to go all in. But that's not the way this Brewers team has operated. And why should they operate any other way, guys? They're America's team. They're built. They're not bought. They're winning games in many different ways, many different players. They're not relying on a guy like Shohei Ohtani to drive in all the runs. Bad example because they just won the World Series, but you know what I mean? Like that's the point I'm just trying to make, is that it's more than just one guy. It's 1 through 9 for this Brewers offense that has continued to be a big part of the reason that they have completely turned their season around back in the middle of May. Brewers with the 6-5 win over the Dodgers in LA. They complete the season series sweep over LA. They win their 10th in a row. Jose Quintana getting the win today. Jackson Chourio keeping his hit streak now, 14 games. Ortiz with a quiet 6-game hitting streak. Good things for the Milwaukee Brewers at the plate today. All RBIs today for your Milwaukee Brewers coming with 2 outs and 2 strikes. So fantastic performance at the plate, as we saw on Saturday night as well. 59-40. Seattle is up next. 2 wins away for free burgers from George Webb in Milwaukee. So good things for the Brewers. Certainly, there's no doubt about it. My thanks to each and every one of you for always making Locked On Brewers part of your day each and every day. Remember, wherever you get podcasts, Apple, Google, Spotify, all those terrific podcast apps, you can get this very program. Just go to the search bar, type in Locked On Brewers, hit that subscribe button. That goes for YouTube as well. Get notified, hit the little bell, get notified when we go live. Hit the thumbs up, drop a comment, drop a thought. We read all of them. And as always, we'll do it again tomorrow in Seattle, but win, lose, or draw. And boy, has it felt good for 10 straight times to say this, but it certainly feels good after a win. Win, lose, or draw. It is always go Brewers. Thanks, everyone. Have a good one.